So Forza Horizon 5 just went live sometime earlier today, giving me the perfect opportunity to see how well the Seraphim R1 Plus steering wheel works on PC gaming. But wait, as this steering wheel does not only work on PC, it also works on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, the Xboxes, and Nintendo Switch, and of course, mobile phones. Yes, mobile phones. So, watch on to find out to see how well the Seraphim R1 Plus works on the above mentioned platforms, and it's time to get racing! Hi, what's up everybody? I'm Edward, and in today's video, I'll first go over the specifications of the Seraphim R1 Plus steering wheel that was sent to me for review, and then share with you guys my 3 weeks usage experience over a variety of platforms that I own. Priced at $120, the Seraphim R1 Plus steering wheel falls into the price range of most entry-level steering wheels out there. For this price tag, you'll be getting the steering wheel itself, an additional table clamp to secure the wheel to your table, a pedal base, a phone holder that connects to the wheel itself for using with mobile phones, and a Bluetooth module that can switch between Android and iOS modes for connecting the pedals to your phone, and a USB-A to micro USB cable for connecting your console controllers to the steering wheel. My initial impressions of the R1 Plus steering wheel was that it feels a bit fragile and plasticky, especially at the base unit that the wheel is mounted to and the pedals unit. The plastic used seems a bit thin and hollow, which raises the concern that I might break or crack it easily if I accidentally turn the steering wheel too much during an intense race, or I step on the pedals a bit too hard. But surprisingly, the unit held up quite well through the past 3 weeks of intensive use. The wheel itself, on the other hand, feels very firm and sturdy, and is surprisingly comfortable to hold onto with its rubber-coated handles. Compared to Logitech's G29 leather-coated steering wheel that I normally use, I would give it a 9 out of 10 for comfort. So, taking a closer look at the steering wheel, the wheel itself, in my opinion, is a little bit smaller in diameter than I would like. I understand that having a smaller wheel makes it faster and easier to tackle corners, but as the steering angle is limited to only 180 degrees, it's not that necessary. There's a powerful multi-motor vibration feedback along with a total of 17 well-placed buttons on the steering wheel, which are easily within the reach of your thumbs, with one R3 and L3 button located behind the steering wheel. The steering wheel unit alone weighs in at around 1,500 grams and measures at 270 millimeters tall by 260 millimeters wide and 278 millimeters deep, making it not too big or not too small and easy to set up to use on a table. The unit can easily attach to any smooth surface via the 7 suction cups beneath it without needing to use the included clamp, but I find that my unit still tends to move around a lot without it. There's also a 2-way stick shifter on the right side, which in my opinion is a bit too far in to be easily accessible, but luckily I can always rely on the paddle shifters that rotates with the wheel while you turn and provides a satisfying tactile feedback. The USB-A cable on the back of the steering wheel unit measures at 6'4" and is non-detachable, so if your cable is damaged, it will mean that you might have to replace the whole unit. Next to the cable is an USB-A port to connect your PlayStation or Xbox controller when you want to use it on a console, and an RJ11 phone jack port for connecting your landline so you can make calls while driving. As for the pedals unit, it weighs around 500 grams and uses the also non-detachable RJ11 cable to either connect to the included Bluetooth 4.0 module to pair with either your iOS or Android phone, or the steering wheel unit for use on PC and consoles. The pedals themselves are analog, which is great because it lets you control the amount of acceleration and braking when using with PC and consoles. But it would be great if Seraphim could implement a retractable grip system like on the G29 for use on carpeted floors so it won't slide around as much. So during this past couple of weeks of playing with the Seraphim R1 Plus on multiple platforms, I'll start off by saying that the wheel works flawlessly without any issues when playing arcade-style racers on PC. Windows 10 automatically detects the steering wheel as an Xbox gamepad and emulates the controls as if you're playing with a gamepad, making it work with most games. I did not encounter any issues while speeding around Mexico in Forza Horizon 5, but I was able to get better lap times in races on the Logitech's G29 steering wheel due to the G29 having force feedback steering. Without the force feedback feature, it was a lot harder to tell if my car was about to oversteer when I am entering and exiting a corner, and also a lot harder to correct it. But at $120, the lack of this feature is acceptable, as there are many much more expensive wheels available out there for PC to choose from if you really want that feature. And that playing racing games on the PC is probably not the highlight reason of why you would choose the Seraphim R1 Plus in the first place. Instead, it's being able to play most games on multiple platforms without needing a set of steering wheel for each platform that makes the Seraphim R1 Plus steering wheel special. And as the wheel emulates a controller's input when used with consoles, it should work with most, if not all, games that allows you to reconfigure your inputs. But if in case the game doesn't let you, you can always use the wheel's built-in feature to reconfigure the buttons yourself. Though, as turning the wheel itself is emulating an analog stick, and from my experience, the steering feedback will vary from game to game and will work better if there is an adjust analog sensitivity option in the game. For instance, when playing Gear Club Unlimited on the Nintendo Switch with the Seraphim R1 Plus, I could not set the steering wheel sensitivity, so it was almost impossible to play. But with Asphalt 9, which lets you set the sensitivity, it was a lot much more fun than using the Pro Controller. But it took some trial and error tuning, as there is a steering dead zone that makes it a bit challenging to get used to using a steering wheel to play a game that does not officially support steering wheels. Now, for mobile phones, as this is the first time that I am ever using a steering wheel to play racing games on this platform, I have to admit that I had a blast. With the Seraphim app showing which games are fully compatible, and with each game showing additional instructions on how to properly configure in the in-game settings, it made setting up and using the Seraphim R1 Plus pretty simple. With a Bluetooth module connected, the pedal unit emulates virtual touch gestures to help press the gas and brake pedals with your foot, and this adds a new level of immersion to mobile racing games. Racing in Grid Autosport with the R1 Plus was so much more easier, as steering with a wheel is much more familiar and intuitive compared to steering by tilting the phone. But the downside is that the buttons on the steering wheel will not be usable, as only the pedal unit is connected to the phone, so you will still need to rely on touch input for some in-game functions. So there's that. Oh, and if you do decide to get one to play on mobile phones, I highly recommend mirroring your mobile screen onto a TV, as during the past 3 weeks, staring down for extended periods with the phone in the middle of the wheel has given me quite some neck and shoulder strains. But overall, the Seraphim R1 Plus is a good budget choice for a racing wheel if you are into arcade-style racing games with the added benefit of working across multiple platforms. You'll be saving a lot of storage space and money because you no longer need to purchase a separate wheel for each platform. And you also don't have to worry about if a game supports steering wheel, as this wheel should work with most games as it emulates a gamepad input. So yeah, that's my review of the Seraphim R1 Plus steering wheel, and thank you guys as always for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer all of them. And if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, as it will really help this channel a lot more than you know it, and I'll see you again in the next video. Ciao!